What happened?
Chief, please respond. What is your status? Over. If you can hear me, find transport. Head to the town of Borium.
Can I see a medic or something?
Settle down, Marines. Somebody hit the emergency power.
On it, Sergeant.
You can walk? Set your boots on the line. Chief's got the right idea. Let's mount up. Get the hell out of these caves.
What's going on, YouTube? I'm back, and today I'm bringing you guys the next episode of my Halo 3 campaign walkthrough, and it's a pleasure. It really is. I'm really enjoying this experience, and I'm glad that I can share it with you guys. Now, I'm on the 3rd level now, and doing this solo queue, maybe solo queue isn't the right word to use, but doing it by myself is a little... It can actually be hard at times. I don't know if you guys have actually played the Halo campaign, but it can actually be quite a challenge on your own on Legendary, mainly because you don't get the opportunity to get respawned by a teammate. For example, if you play with a friend who should be Thrill, but Thrill has some weird technical issues that I don't like to talk about, and he doesn't like to talk about either, so we just won't get into them. The original plan for this commentary was to actually, or I mean, for this series, was to have Thrill actually here doing the campaign with me on Legendary, because you know, Thrill is a longtime gamer friend of mine, and I actually proposed the idea to include him in this series, but thinking back on it, he just didn't have the right pieces of tech available to him to be able to take part in such a project. So unfortunately, I had to just start it without him. But like I was saying, if I did have a friend to do this with, it would have been of great benefit, because on Legendary in Halo, like, you're inevitably going to die a lot. But if you have a friend with you, you can actually get respawned. And you don't have to get reset to a checkpoint unless you both die. But when you do this on your own, you don't have a friend to do it with. So, RIP to Thrill. He wasn't able to be here to be a part of this. So we're going to be doing the whole campaign, just me and you guys. But maybe Thrill will join in the future. It's something that I'll have to talk to him about, because I think maybe that will make it a little bit more exciting. He'll just have to get some stuff figured out on his end. This is... I wouldn't say this is one of my least favorite missions in Halo 3, but I do feel like it's easy to forget compared to the latter missions, and especially the last driving mission, which I can't wait to play. One thing I'm also trying to do with this walkthrough is shorten the episode length for you guys, because I think the first episode was like 35 minutes. Oh my. As you can see, you take just the brute shot on Legendary is just disgustingly OP. And the sniper rifles that the Jackals have are also just disgustingly overpowered. You see, I try to go up here and I hit some sort of invisible wall. And in typical Borium fashion, I don't learn from it, I believe. I try to do it again. Yeah. See, I just... And then I end up rolling it here, yes. And then... and then I end up dying. But, like I said, see, imagine if I had a friend there. I wouldn't have to restart, but I did have to restart. But luckily, when I let the AI drive me around instead, on the second time around, they know what to do more than I do. So I take out the snipers first, because they basically don't miss. Because they hit you in the head like almost with like perfect accuracy, and they just one-shot you. You see how overpowered that brute shot is there? Like he shot us like what, 3 times? And you can see that warthog beside me, I think, just got blown up, and my teammates are dead now, just from that brute shot once again. See, yeah, they did die.
I repeat, my convoy's been hit. I've got wounded. We're on the Tsavo highway about east of
I believe this section of the map is when the player first gets introduced to the chopper vehicle, which is awesome. The chopper in Halo 3 is might be my most favorite vehicle in the history of Halo. It's so fun to use, and I think that it's so satisfying to use. And not only does it look cool, it kind of looks like a Harley Davidson, and you know that just goes to attest how good of artists Bungie had working for them at the time. If you look at the enemies you play against in the new heroes, 343 cough cough, the creativity just isn't there. I feel like 343, when they make Halo games, they just kind of mail it in. But Bungie, you know, everything about the brute enemy, it all makes sense. Like they're an ape, but they wear like leather, and they're brutish. They wear a lot of metal armor mixed with leather. You know, the spiker weapon, you know, it shoots metal spikes, and then the chopper is like a Harley Davidson. And I just feel like there's just this nice direction that they go towards in creating and personifying all of the characters that they make. Something that 343 really seems to lack, and you can really see it in all aspects of 343's game design. There isn't much depth there, whereas you can tell with Bungie, they actually have like a whole storyline, like with lore and everything behind all of the heroes and enemies that they make in the game. And I think that just goes to show you that how serious Bungie is, that they actually have really passionate people working not only in multiplayer design but in the campaign design. I mean, if you look at what 343 has made, it's like, what do they make? Those little like teleporting robot things? Like, what is that even? Like, what? Like, that's the best they could come up with. And honestly, I feel like it's just a scapegoat. I feel like it's just a way for them to just dodge doing any real creative work. It just feels like, if you think about the basic fundamental mechanic of the enemies that 343 has made, it's an enemy that can teleport in and out of any situation and appear out of nowhere. Now think about it like this. If you make a hero that can teleport anywhere at any time, it completely eliminates you having to create a backstory which is cohesive with the current situation that is presented in front of the player. For example, if I want to have brutes come in, I need to give those brutes a vehicle to come in, a place to come from, some sort of vehicle for them to enter the scene of battle, right? But if I'm 343, I can completely eliminate that. If I make an enemy that can teleport in and out anywhere,
You're breaking up.
Something in the crater, ma'am. Something beneath the storm.
Master Chief, finally a good connection. Truth has excavated a Forerunner artifact. I have to assume it's the Ark.
Keep pushing to the town of Boy, Chief. Resupply birds will meet you in the next valley.
it's funny, when I was a little kid, I used to actually try to jump that gap with the Warthog again and again, because I'm pretty sure the game developers didn't want you to be able to bring a Warthog into this section. And it's kind of funny how I actually got it on the first try there, and I haven't played this game in so many years. Although, I think it might have been because I was using the transport Warthog and not the one with the chain gun on the back. But like I was saying about 343's game design, or I mean their enemy design, more specifically. If you make a hero that can teleport in and out of any situation at any time, basically at that point, all you need to make is a map. It's the only thing you need to focus on, right? And the map doesn't need to be cohesive with any of the enemies you made, because your enemy is so flexible and so malleable to any situation. Like, I could literally make a square box that literally can't be entered by anything, and I don't have to have any depth of map design. I could make a square box, and if I need enemies for the players to be entertained by, I could just teleport them in at any time, because that's the hero that, or I mean, that's the enemy that 343 decided to make. And I don't think that they made that hero for any reason, because it's not a very interesting hero. And I don't think they made it for any reason other than to make it easier on themselves. I know that sounds really petty, and I'm sure if you guys have been watching me for a little bit now, you know that I hate 343 Industries. But I truly do believe that. I don't even know what the enemies are called that 343 makes. All I know is like the Didact, but what are they called? Like Prometheans, I think they're called. Yeah, that hero is the biggest cop out of a enemy design I've ever seen in my life. 343 are just so pathetic. There's just something about Bungie and trying to follow in their footsteps, which is obviously a really hard thing to do. Halo 3, Halo 1, Halo 2, Halo Reach being some of the best titles ever made on console in the history of consoles. You know, even just the soundtrack and just the underlying tone of each of these missions and just the vibe that you get, it just speaks to how passionate Bungie is about game design. Listen even now to the soundtrack and the environment, the sound of the weapons. This map is big and open. I think it's so well made, and the art style and how everything looks, how the map looks, it holds up even today. I mean, this game is 10 years old, and it still holds up even today. Now, if you guys have noticed, I have switched to a post voiceover commentary style as opposed to the previous episodes in this series. I used a live commentary style. So you guys can let me know down below in the comments which style you prefer more, the live commentary or this post style commentary, because in the post style commentary it gives me more time to focus on what I'm saying as opposed to actually trying to shoot and talk at the same time. And in the future, I think I'm going to try to get Thrill in on this, like I mentioned earlier. But let me know down below in the comments which one you prefer. Do you like the live commentary or the post commentary more? Like I said, I always appreciate you guys' feedback, and I just want to say thanks once again for joining me on this nostalgic journey of beating Halo 3 on Legendary, a flashback to my childhood. Up until this point in the game, it seems like it's really easy, but I know for a fact there's a couple levels that I'm not looking forward to beating, if I can remember correctly. And also on this map, I'm sure a lot of you guys remember where the skulls are. I mean, if you guys came from Halo 3, you probably know where all the skulls are, and I'm going to get the skull on every map, but on this map, I actually forgot to get the skull, unfortunately. My bad. But on the next map, I will definitely be getting the skull and looking for more Easter eggs to show you guys, because if you guys know Bungie, they love to put in so many Easter eggs, so I'm going to try and find a lot of those. But as you can see here, I keep dying, and it's because if at any point during the Halo campaign on Legendary, if you don't respect the difficulty, you will die. You get bursted down so quickly, and you'll get overextended so much faster than you think, and you'll be caught out in the open and be super vulnerable. But as you can see on Legendary, the enemies are just so tanky, especially these Brute Chieftains, and shooting the BR just feels so nice. And I'm actually going to do an episode in this series where we're going to play multiplayer. And who knows, I might actually start playing Halo again. Who knows? There's a good chance of that. Maybe in Overwatch's next off-season in between, I can play on less Overwatch accounts, like my Smurf accounts. I just won't play on them. And then I'll take that time that I would use to prevent my Smurfs from decaying and play some Halo multiplayer. And I can do more commentaries like this and show you guys. I can even give you guys tips and tricks for Halo. Even if you guys don't play Halo, I think they can be quite interesting because Halo is like my all-time favorite game, especially playing online. And I think that delving into my mind and what I'm thinking in the heat of the moment situations in Halo multiplayer could be quite interesting, not only for you guys but to myself, because I've never actually done anything like that for Halo.
Wraith, get to cover!
You guys see how tanky they are on Legendary? It just took my entire clip of BR to kill that regular brute. He's wearing the blue armor, which means that he's just a normal your average brute. And it took my entire clip to knock him out of the turret. So if you guys ever want to make fun of me for dying to bots on Legendary and Halo, don't laugh too hard. It's not actually as easy as it looks. I mean, don't get me wrong, it is easy. anyone can do it. But I guarantee you no one does this alone and they don't die. Apart from like those guys who do speed runs, but those guys are like autistic about this stuff and they like practice it every day. Actually, I could do a Halo 1 playthrough with speed runs. I've actually done that before, not for the purpose of doing the speed run or setting a world record or anything like that, but I had to beat Halo 1 on Legendary to get the achievement. So what I did is I went on YouTube and I typed in Halo 1 speedrun and I followed the guy who was doing the speedrun and I just copied everything he did. Obviously he executed everything first try, and I failed a lot, but I wasn't doing a speedrun, so it's still, I ended up beating Halo 1 I think in like I think it was ridiculous, like 4 hours I think. I beat the whole thing using a lot of exploits, and I can't believe like how people find out about these exploits. It really is something to behold. In the future, I will probably be talking a lot less in these episodes, or more even potentially, but in this one specifically, I feel like I need to talk more because, oh my god, this part of the level was so hard, and I'm not going to tell you guys how many times I had died here, but let me put it to you this way. Right now this video is 17 minutes long, and I'm pretty sure after I cut it down it was, or I mean before I cut it down, it was like at like 35 minutes or like 40 minutes or something. So at first I tried to be a good boy and beat the level fair and square, killing these brute here, and then this is the thing I love about the chopper. If you ram into a chopper, it immediately blows up the other one, which is really fun to do online and multiplayer, obviously, if yours doesn't get disintegrated there. But like I said, this vehicle, I love everything about it. It's my favorite vehicle of all time in the whole Halo series. And if you ram someone like this, boom, it one-shots them. There's nothing more satisfying. There's nothing more badass about a vehicle than this vehicle right here. I love it so much. I love how it's like a big motorcycle. I love the big intimidating sharp gears on the front. I love the weapons on the front. They do so much damage, and you just look like a badass riding in the thing. It is amazing, and I love Bungie so much. But like I said, I'm not going to admit how many times I had died trying to beat this part. Now in this part, you have to fight like 6 brute choppers. There's a phantom shooting at you, and then there's like 4 or 5 wraiths shooting at you, which all have a brute in the gunner seat also shooting at you. You see how there's a brute up there in the top seat? So I just said, screw it. I'm not fighting all these guys. It's just too much to do on my own. It was just too much. I didn't have the firepower. All of my Marine teammates were all dead, so I just decided to just skip that level, and it ended up working actually. Just completely skipping it and then going back, because I think that it like breaks something in the AI's programming where they don't know what to do once you just skip them. Because I think that like when they're developing the AI, they make it so that you have to kill them, and then they know what to do. But as you can see, they don't really know what to do if you just skip them. As you can see at the end of the road there, those wraiths are just sitting back there like they don't know what to do. So I decided to go back here and kill them, because these things can shoot you from like literally across the entire map. So I just wanted to destroy them from this distance and kind of be cheesy about it. I know this isn't really fair, but like it's legendary and I'm doing it solo, so you gotta do what you gotta do. So I just wanted to destroy both of these ones, so I'm not fighting something behind me and all of a sudden this blue ball of death comes from the sky and ends me. So I killed those things, I got in this wraith here, and now I'm gonna go and attempt to complete this level. Well, I don't know what that no rag was. I thought that went right into the dude, but that's fine. And here we are, picking up the sniper rifle. I don't know where this weird techno music is coming from, but apparently it's part of the game. as you guys can see, these guys have armor plus energy shields. So on Legendary, it can be quite a lot to deal with, because if you shoot them in the head, it knocks their shields off, and then it also just knocks their helmet off, kind of like PUBG or H1Z1, where you can shoot a helmet off. And especially with the Brute Chieftains, they have like so much shields, and then they have so much armor on top of it, so you really have to just basically get all headshots. But these guys are pretty easy to take out. But you see, I shoot his helmet off, and he's still not dead. So the sniper rifle, although it's fun to use, it's really not the most ammo efficient way to go about it. And that will bring us right to the end of the third mission in the Halo 3 campaign on Legendary. I'm a bit of a dingus. I don't realize that I'm supposed to blow up that thing behind me, behind the shield barrier. Right now I'm just wondering to myself, and then the game thinks, hey, this guy needs a reminder, so I need to go over here and blow this thing up. And that brings us to the end of the third mission. I just want to say thank you guys so much for watching, and I can't wait to play the next level. The next level is much more fun than this one. So once again, thank you guys so much.
Commander. What about the Ark?
Fully uncovered, sir.
Then we don't have much time. Marines, the Prophet of Truth doesn't know it yet, but he's about to get kicked right off his throne. You will take our city back and drive our enemy into the grave they've been so happily digging. One final effort is all that remains.